Welcome, beautiful souls, to another episode of Sacred Explorers. Today is New Year's Eve, and we thought we would come together and we would start our podcast at the beginning of the year. And we would talk about who we are, so you kind of know who we are. We also thought that we would talk a little bit about one thing that we do every year, which is select a word. And the word is related to what we want to do for the rest of the new year.
Yes. I think we both started doing this on our own.
We did.
And then when we started being friends, we were like, you do a word? And I'm like, I do a word. You do a word? So it's definitely been something I've done, I would say almost for a decade now. And this is my first year that I have a duplicate word. So we'll get into that when we get to where we're going. But I'm Kat, just in case you didn't know who I was. And I'm half of Sacred Explorers. And so many times, Ange and I are just sitting on the couch, which we're doing right now. And we get halfway through our conversation, and we're like, we should be recording this because this would be a good podcast. And so we've just decided to take the leap as we are about to leap into 2026 and start a podcast because I was listening to a podcast today with Chris Williamson and Simon Sinek. And Chris Williamson does Modern Wisdom, and Simon Sinek wrote Start with Why. And he said that the most vulnerable thing a leader can do is to share when they're struggling with something. And it makes you relatable because most people are struggling with things and they feel like you're unapproachable if everything you do is always polished and shiny and put together. And I think sometimes, like, we do all of these great trips, and people might think that our lives are pretty perfect. And I think this is the year that we're like, we're going to share what we're going through. And I mean, I wouldn't say we have a perfect life, but I love my life. And at the same time, we've both been going through it.
Yep.
And I know from the people who follow us, they're going through it too. And I think it's time we just show up, talk for realsies, and, hopefully some people come along for the journey with us. So that's kind of me. Well, I didn't really say anything about me,
No,
but
you
that's
didn't.
good enough about me for right now.
That's nothing about you. That's about okay.
I don't know. What do you want to know about me? Ask me something. I'm better that way.
Ask. I know everything about you.
I know, but what do you think people want to know about me?
What's okay? Well, what about like maybe a little bit about your background?
Okay. So I unintentionally studied mind, body, spirit. So I have an undergrad in psychology with a minor in spirituality and a master's in nutrition. And that's all fancy and good, whatever. But what I really have noticed as I work with more and more people is the root issue that most people who come to work with me are struggling with, and that I'm struggling with, if I'm perfectly honest, is connection. I really, really think, we're chronically disconnected, like from ourselves, from our communities, from our higher selves, divine, God, whatever you call it. And I think we were never meant to heal in isolation.
I agree.
And so for me, I think if I really had to pick just one passion for my purpose, it would be helping people find connection, starting with themselves. And I would say these past 4 years have been huge for me in that journey. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm like stone medicine practitioner, so I'm the crystal girl. Um, I have very many friends who are always excited for me to take them crystal shopping, you being one of them. I am a ritual master in the lineage of King Solomon. I'm a healer in that lineage as well. And yeah, I love to get to know myself deeper, and I love to help people do that for themselves as well. Does that answer your question?
That answers my question. Thank you.
How about you tell everybody a little bit about you?
Okay, well, I'm Ange, and I also have a background in psychology and ancient history. So you can probably be going, how do those two fit together? They don't. But they do help me in, understanding the importance of history and understanding the importance of connection, the same as Kat. How do you connect the dots, and how do you, look at what happened in the past and how does it affect you in the future? I love music. I love dancing. I am not a professional in any of it, but I love it all.
I have video proof to that fact.
Do? I am a certified sound healer. I do sound healing. I do sound baths as one of the offerings that I have. I don't know what else to say, really. I mean, the reality is that Kat and I are both in our 50s, and
you're not supposed to give it away.
Okay, sorry, I did. Cat's out of the bag, people. We're going through it. We're going through the perimenopause and the menopause, and it's been an interesting year.
It sure has.
Sorting it all out, and we'll talk more about that because I'm sure some of you are also going through it, and it's always good to hear what other people have done or are doing.
And it's also just good to know you're going through it with somebody. Like, I remember you and I, we laughed so hard the first time we just opened up about the fact that we were in it. We were, I don't know, we were good friends, but I guess we just weren't super good friends at the time. And I don't forget, I think it was, we were talking about sleeping alone. And I think you said it's great sleeping alone because when I wake up sweating in the middle of the night, I can just roll over to the cool side of the bed.
Yeah.
And we just both killed ourselves laughing because it was like the first time we both were like, right, yep, it's hot and sweaty at night. And that's just where it's at right now.
Yes. Temperature regulation, one of the joys. One of the joys.
Yeah, and I think since then, I think what I really love about our friendship, and I think what makes these conversations, I hope, enjoyable for other people, is we're oftentimes going through the same thing, but we do it a little bit differently. And then we just kind of can be like, yeah, I tried this and it's not really working, or I tried this and it's going great. And, sometimes we both hop on the same bandwagon and other times we don't. I did not hop on the compression sock bandwagon for our last trip to Italy. And I don't regret it.
I did, and I don't regret it.
But like that's how we roll, right? Like we both are independent, but we're not beyond asking for help.
No.
And we certainly are willing to try. I think pretty much anything.
Pretty much within reason. Yeah. I'm still not onto those Brussels sprouts, but hey. Yeah, I think for me too, I think one of the things that's good for us with the whole yin yang concept, right, is that you're a little bit more grounded sometimes, whereas I'm a little bit more up in the air, and I'm always looking for play and joy and dragging you along sometimes.
And I'm also the one to be like, hey, we can go a little slower here. It's not always the waiters in Italy telling you to slow down.
No, not always the waiters. Although that was a good slap in the face I needed. So.
We should probably tell them the story now that we've hinted at it.
Oh, yes, I guess we should. So we were in Sardinia. What city were we in now?
That cool fortressy one.
Yeah.
I don't remember its name.
Oh, I don't remember either off the top of my head. Started with an A, I think. Or had an A in it.
I don't know.
Okay, anyways, we were in this beautiful city and we got hungry. Well, we were trying to get to take a boat.
Yes. to see a really cool Neptune's Grotto.
Neptune's Grotto.
Yeah.
So we were trying to get to Neptune's Grotto, only like there was no way. All the boats were really sold out, except for later in the day, and we didn't want to go later in the day because we had to go on to the next place where we were going. And so we decided to just hang out in the town because it was so cute.
Mhm.
And we walked around the town, and then we got hungry,
Yes.
and we decided to sit in this really cute piazza and have lunch. And we ordered pizzas. We
Mhm.
could have shared a pizza, but we didn't realize how big they were.
Yes.
So we each ordered a pizza. And Appy, I think the caprese salad.
Oh yes, we had our first caprese
Yes, with
salad
the burrata cheese.
Mhm.
Oh,
So yummy.
that was so yeah. Anyways, so at the end of the meal, we decided we wanted to have espressos. And me not thinking, because I'm, so used to being here, I call the waiter over. Well, I still have a piece of pizza in my hand that I'm actually eating. And I ask him in Italian, I think. I did. I asked him in Italian for 2 espressos. And he looked at me like I had asked for the world. And he was like, why now? And I was like, well, because we're almost, but you're not finished.
Where are you going?
Where are
he
you
says.
going? Yeah, where do you gotta go? And I was like, oh, I'm looking at him like very confused.
He's like, you gotta get a boat?
Yeah. I was like, no, I don't need to get a boat. Well, where you go? I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Well, then no.
He's like, why are you rushing?
Yeah. Why rush? Why the rush? Take it easy kind of thing. It was like, he didn't say take it easy, but that was kind of the, the way it felt. And so he did not give us the espressos until I finished my pizza.
And I just looked at her and kind of was like, you've been told.
Oh, I was told. That was the first time that day I got told.
Yes.
I got told a couple of times that day.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. We are very yin and yang. I think you always encourage me to jump in and be a little more spontaneous and a little more carefree. And I can hopefully slow you down some days in a good way.
You do. You do slow me down sometimes.
Yeah. So how did we get here? I don't know.
How did we get here?
To this part of the conversation.
We were talking about I brought it up.
Oh,
I said that we balance
yes.
each other out.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Because we were talking about us and who we are.
So we actually sat down on this very couch yesterday and started this conversation. And I think we were talking about being excited for 2026. Because 2025 has been challenging, I think. Maybe not challenging, but a lot happened in 2025.
A lot happened in 2025.
That stretched us and pushed us. And I think we both realized that 2026 is the year of, well, for me, 2026 is a year of consistency, self-responsibility, and self-care. And not like I don't need more bubble baths, but like I really want this year to be showing up for myself. I think in the past few years, I've needed some healing and I needed the rest, but I'm like ready. I'm ready to show up in bigger ways. I'm ready to get my health back, move more. And like I just don't want to age the way my parents did. So I think that's this threshold of the new year is, kind of what's been going around in my head a little bit. How are you kind of showing up to the end of the beginning?
End of the beginning. For me, I spent a lot of time in 2025 healing. There was a lot of change that happened at the end of 2024 that kind of threw me for a loop. And so I had to sort of go internally a little bit and figure out what was going on and how was I going to deal with this and how was I going to move forward from this in a way that was meaningful to me and still be there for the people that needed me to be there for them, but I needed to be there for me. And so I feel like I'm carrying that still with me into next year, only again, it's a little different because 2026, I feel like I've done a lot of healing. I don't really need to do a lot more. So now it's time to regroup and say, okay, what do I want to do for me? So 2026 is the year of me, and it's putting my needs first and still being there for other people, but from a full cup.
Yeah.
Because I can't help you if I'm not taking care of myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that means, health wise, I got to get my health back to where it needs to be. I want to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success. I don't mean that I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 3 weeks. Like, that's just ridiculous. What I'm saying is I'm going to find an eating program that works for me.
Yeah. And works for like
the rest of my life.
The new us, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not 20 anymore,
No.
where you can just like skip a few meals and work out a little harder on the treadmill for a week and it's easy peasy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what I've really realized this year is like it's the consistency piece. Like,
Yeah.
we kind of need to live in terms of eating, moving, sleeping, stress management. We need to live a boring life.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be consistent. It needs to not be like, I'm going to work out super, super hard for 2 days and then I'm going to lie on the couch for 5.
Because I can't move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, so I guess sustainability is one of the things I want to focus on, is finding what works, what's sustainable for the long run.
Yeah.
None of these fad things, because the fad things aren't sustainable.
No.
Right?
No.
I mean, they're great for the short term, but are they sustainable for the long term? No, they're not.
And not just like, at least for me, not just in terms of results, but also just joy.
Yeah.
Like, I've realized so much of my life I've lived as like just checking things off a to-do list.
Mhm.
And like, even day to day, like, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Good, done. Now I can sit on the couch. And like, that's not the life I want to live. Like,
No.
I want to enjoy my days. Like, I'm at that point now where I'm very fortunate that I can create the life I want.
Mhm.
And so why am I still living like there's all these things on my to-do list that I don't want to do?
Mhm.
So for me, it's like sustainability in terms of health, but also sustainability in like, is this in my life because I really enjoy doing it? Or does it give me give me the strength or give me the freedom to do something else, right? Like, so maybe I'm never going to love lifting heavy things, but I know my legs are going to love it when I can hike down to a waterfall and hike back up and have no troubles or get off the couch. So yeah, I think for me, it's definitely sustainability as well.
Yeah. For me, that's, and the other thing too is, I mean, I don't want to be in corporate for the rest of my life. We've talked about this a million times. And so I really need to knuckle down and get that plan in place and action it. Like, I've been actioning it sort of willy-nilly. Now I need to really say, okay, what does this look like? How am I going to exit corporate in the next 5 years so that I can then do Sacred Explorers or whatever it evolves into, until I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. And I'm not coming from corporate. I'm coming from like caregiver burnout, some health issues. And I think what I've realized is every time I've run my own business, it's followed closely by some sort of health disaster. Like, I had a great nutrition business and then I had my last concussion. And so I've got this little bit of fear around being, air quotes, too busy, that I won't be able to sustain that. So for me, this year's all about building back stronger and consistently, and trusting that I've done the healing work so that I can consistently show up for myself and for the people that I want to serve and help. And I've got all these beautiful modalities. I don't want to be afraid of using them because, again, I'm going to get stuck on the couch for 5 days.
Right. Yeah.
So do you think it's time we share our words for the year?
Okay. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So again, just to recap. So every year, Kat and I each choose words independently. The word will usually come up usually around November. It'll start to like percolate, and then it usually pops in around the beginning of December. This year I had a little bit of a situation because I actually had two words pop in.
Ooh.
And the two words are both words that encompass sort of where I want to go.
Right.
And so it took me a while to get to one. So I actually am using both of them, but I'll explain how I'm doing it after. But so the purpose of the word is to act as an anchor or a compass. It's sort of a reminder of where you want to be and why you're doing this. And so my word for 2026
Drum roll.
is radiant. And the second word is sovereign.
Good words.
So why did I pick radiant? Why am I using radiant? Well, radiant came to me because it's about more than just light. So in the lineage of King Solomon, we're all about light and bringing the light to others. And so as I'm, going along the path in this lineage, I'm learning more and more every day. And I'm realizing more and more how important it is. And so for me, I said, okay, light is important, but how do I take that light and then, use it for what I want to do? And so it's about being radiant in your health. What does that look like? It means, hormone balance, eating properly, glowing from the inside out, which is what you want to do. It's coming home to my body. I'm a radiant being. It's also joy. It's also laughter. It's also adventure, right? Which is who I am and who we are together. And it's about bringing back that spark that kind of got lost in the last couple of years. It was there, but it was dim.
Yeah.
So now I want to ignite it more. And so it just made sense to use radiance. And then the whole point is, well, how does sovereign fit into it, right? So you're like, well, how does sovereign fit into it then, Ange? I don't get it. Well, sovereign is kind of the energy of self-mastery, right? If you're sovereign, then you have that mastery of self. And that's what you need to be consistent, to set a path and stick to it. You have to have that sovereignty. So it's basically saying, okay, I'm going to stand in my own power this year. It's the year of me. And I'm going to have truth. I'm going to have purpose. And, and I'm going to glow from the inside out through it. And so that's the whole point. So I also think sovereignty is self-mastery, but it's also leadership.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to lead by example.
Yep.
And I think Sacred Explorers, we do that. We lead by example on a regular basis. And we show people that, you can travel and you can do all these crazy things. And it doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah.
If you have that youthful spirit, you can do it. And so it's again taking me back to what we teach all the time is about being the creator of your life. Right.
Yeah.
And so my choices, my rituals, my boundaries, my joy.
Yeah.
Right. It's not about what everybody else wants. So if you look at it as radiance is the glow, but sovereignty is the backbone that supports it.
That's really good.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the way I want to enter into 2026.
Oh, I love it.
So, and I have an intention. So the intention is something that I will say in the morning, or I'll say in the evening, or whenever during the day. And it's just a reminder. And so it's, I am radiant in health and joy, sovereign in spirit and purpose, shining my light and leading my life.
Oof, so good.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to be repeating through the day.
Right.
To remind me like why I'm here.
Yeah,
what
I
am
love
doing
that.
this year.
I love it.
So.
My word, like I said at the beginning, is actually a repeat. And my word was slow to drop in this year. I really didn't have any clue until just a little bit, well, almost halfway through December. And I was in meditation and, just kind of creating space for that word to drop in. And I got my word and I'm like, no, it can't be that word. I've done that word before. And kind of my guides, my higher self, God, the whole crew kind of looked at me in this meditation and went, yeah, no, you've had that word before, but now it's time to actually do it. And I was like, right. So my word is devotion. And why devotion? So I did allude to this a little bit earlier in our conversation, in that for most of my life, my life has really just felt like things I've been checking off a to-do list. And oftentimes I'm so like worried about what's coming next or worried about what I didn't do that I'm not really present in anything I'm doing. Like, I'll do my rituals in the morning and I'm already thinking about the next one while I'm doing the one I'm in, or I'll be thinking about, the next thing I have to do. Like I'm always one or two steps out of being present. And I really have no need for that. Like I live a life now where I get to pick everything I do in a day. So why am I still just doing and not really being? And then I think, part of this comes from, I had a very disciplinary father. Everything had to be done a certain way. It was very strict. And I want to cultivate a different relationship with consistency and a different relationship with self-responsibility in a way that isn't should based. And so devotion is how I want to do everything in my life. I want to be devotional in my spiritual practice. I want to be devotional in moving my body. I want to be devotional in feeding my body. I want to be devotional in the work I do in the world. I've always, spirituality is so important to me. It's always been so important to me. And I've got that component. Like I can, when I'm doing a healing on a client, it is sacred, it is holy. Like that is second nature to me. But I'm really ready for that sacredness and devotional quality to just show up in everything I'm doing. Like how, not going to the grocery store in like my crappy track pants and, clothes that don't fit right. And, taking the time to like do my hair and put makeup on even if I'm not going to see anybody in the day. Like really just, living a life of devotion. So that's my word.
Cool.
Yeah, this was fun.
It was.
Did we cover everything we wanted to talk about in this first episode?
I think so.
Well, that's exciting. So I guess it's a good time to close.
Yeah. So I guess, if you're still listening, thank you. And I guess maybe this is an invitation for you to sit and pick a word and, build around it.
It would be really great if you've made it this far for you to pop your word in the comments below. And, maybe we can have some kind of fun conversation with everybody's words.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we will be back. We have a plan to show up for you guys in this podcast and look forward to building some cool chats and a sense of community and connection. So here's to 2026 that is radiant and devotional.
Love it.
See you next time, everyone.
Bye.